Hello, and welcome to Saint Station. I'm your host, Ann Bauman, and this is my co-host, Jessica Lyon.
We are here to share with you two very inspiring stories, so stay tuned to hear more.
All along the front edge of this 70 plus mile per hour winds, detrimental to health and safety of the citizens. We're activating our siren system now.
On August 10, 2020, our hometown of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, was left in absolute devastation after an inland hurricane known as a derecho swept through our town. I'm going to hand it over to our field reporter Declan to tell you.
I'm Declan Coe. I'm here at Riley Brodzick's house, a citizen whose home suffered derecho damage. Before we get into that, a little background. This storm brought wind gusts of 140 miles per hour and many homes were destroyed. Cedar Rapids lost 65% of their tree canopy. President of the debris hauling company, Jamie Flannery, said that this was the worst their company had ever seen, including Louisiana after Hurricane Katrina. I interviewed the owner of this home to try to get a closer look at the events that took place on August 10th and the weeks to follow. Here we have homeowner Riley Brodzick to tell more about that devastating day. Did the city have a warning that this storm was coming out?
No one in our city even knew what the word derecho meant until this day. We had absolutely no warning, and no one had any clue that a thunderstorm could cause this much damage.
Where were you when the storm took place?
It was actually a pretty nice day, and I was just hanging out on my back porch. Then all of a sudden it got really dark and the wind picked up out of nowhere, so I ran inside and I went to my basement for shelter. The storm lasted 45 minutes of 140 mile per hour winds.
What was it like in the days and weeks after the storm?
The town was in absolute disbelief, and we were left without power and service for a week or more for a lot of people. The lines at gas stations were 50 cars deep, and the pickup process started immediately after.
Do you think your city will ever get back to the way it was before?
Due to the amount of trees that we lost, it's going to take decades for us to get back to where we were, but luckily Cedar Rapids has made it a priority to replanting trees.
How do you think your city has handled this awful event?
The storm was overwhelming for many, but it also proved our resilient nature, and it showed how determined we are to make our city back to where it was before.
Thank you for talking to me today. Back to you, Anne.
Thanks for such a captivating story, Declan. The interview explored the inflated gas prices after the derecho. Our next story covers the inflated prices of a different product. Has your doctor ever prescribed to you a prescription that seems to solve all of your problems, but as soon as you go to pay, it breaks the bank? A billionaire out of Dallas, Texas, Mark Cuban, has just launched an online pharmacy, Cost Plus Drugs, with the goal of helping protect consumers from these inflated drug prices.
In September of 2021, a poll disclosed that 18 million Americans were recently unable to pay for at least one of their prescriptions, and 10% of Americans have skipped doses to save money.
That shouldn't ever have to be a problem. If we take a look at some of the most notable savings, consumers are paying as low as 0.48% of retail price. These prices epitomize the company's mission to fix the problem of inflated drug prices and to make a way to get affordable drugs to patients quickly.
How do they afford these drastic price cuts, you ask? As a registered pharmaceutical wholesaler, the company can bypass inflated markups in order to avoid extra expenses to be able to process insurance claims. It will be a cash pay venture.
That seems to be a very non-traditional payment plan. However, Cost Plus Drugs still allows for patients to often purchase medications for cheaper than an insurance deductible and copay would be. They offer the lowest prices on over 100 life-saving prescriptions for diseases such as leukemia.
We're looking at a promising future for the Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drugs company as they work to provide prescriptions without breaking the bank.
That wraps up our stories for today. Thank you all for tuning in to learn about the new potentially life-saving company, Cost Plus Drugs, as well as the tragedy that struck our hometown not too long ago.
Don't forget to tune in next time to Saint Station.
I'm Ann Bauman.
And I'm Jessica Lyon.
We'll see you next time on Saint Station.